This is Making Waves from NOAA's National Ocean Service. I'm Troy Kitch. The Earth's climate is changing, and this is causing sea levels to change too. Even slight changes in sea level can lead to dramatic changes along the coast. This is especially true for estuaries, low-lying areas where rivers meet the sea. Estuaries are special places. They're among the most productive ecosystems in the world. Animals rely on estuaries for food, places to breed, and migration stopovers, and we rely on estuaries too, for food, recreation, jobs, and coastal protection. But estuaries are very delicate. Even slight changes in conditions can have a big effect on the plant and animal life that live in our wetland areas. So what impact will rising sea levels have on our estuaries? Well, that's a tough question to answer. Last year, experts from NOAA's National Geodetic Survey traveled to Wacoit Bay National Estuary and Research Reserve in Massachusetts to do some work that will ultimately help provide some answers. They installed a series of rods deep into the ground at locations around the marshy area. What do these rods have to do with answering questions about sea level rise? Well, one of the first steps in knowing what's going on with the land is to know how the land is changing over time. To do that, you need to have a way to measure very accurate elevations. But how do you measure changing elevations in a place where the elevation is constantly changing? The answer is that you need to bury the rods very, very deep into the ground, up to 120 feet. That way, the rods will largely stay put relative to the mucky marsh they're embedded in. The idea is, if you drive the rods deep enough, they won't move over time, so they can become reference points that researchers can then use to measure if the estuary is rising or sinking. This illustration shows a simplified overview of how this works. A buried rod serves as a stable platform. At regular intervals throughout the year, researchers trek out to the rod and attach a contraption called a surface elevation table. This device has a number of small rods that can be moved up or down to measure where the surface of the wetland is at any given time. By taking many measurements of the surface height from many places around the estuary over many years, researchers get a good idea of how the elevation of the area is changing as sea levels rise. And this is an important piece of the puzzle in better understanding how estuaries and the creatures that live there are adapting to a warmer planet. Scientists project global sea levels will rise this century faster than ever before in recorded human history. Any local or regional land elevation changes have to be added on top of sea level rise, so this is why coastal land elevation information is so crucial to help coastal managers plan, prepare, and adapt to a changing landscape. You've been watching Making Waves from NOAA's National Ocean Service. Head to our website at oceanservice.noaa.gov and look for the link on the homepage for our podcast. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode.